Have you ever felt hijacked by your emotions? Do you find yourself reacting to things that in hindsight didn't deserve your energy? What if I told you that you could face chaos and remain calm, not by ignoring reality, but by mastering your perception of it? If you're someone who's tired of feeling controlled by the noise around you, it's time to shift inward. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe, because every week we unpack timeless truths that help you sharpen your mind, elevate your habits, and build the strongest version of yourself. Let's explore how the Stoic approach to life can help you reclaim your power, not by changing the world around you, but by changing how you meet it. 1. Perception is the battlefield. Imagine this. You're driving on a busy highway, focused on your destination, when suddenly someone cuts you off without signaling. Your heart jumps, your fists clench, anger surges. You feel disrespected, even attacked. But stop for a second. What exactly caused that emotional explosion? Was it the other driver's car drifting into your lane? Or was it the story you told yourself about the driver's intentions? This is where Stoicism begins, the battlefield of perception. According to the Stoics, the real fight is not out there on the road, in the office, or in your relationships. The real battle is internal. It lies in how you interpret what happens to you. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said it best. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. He emphasized that external events are neutral. They carry no intrinsic meaning. What matters is the meaning you assign to them. When someone insults you, it's not their words that truly hurt you. It's your interpretation of those words that creates pain. Most of our suffering, frustrations, and emotional storms come not from reality, but from the way we see reality. We add layers of judgment, assumption, and storytelling to every event. We label an interruption as rude, a critique as an attack, or a change in plans as disrespect. But those labels are not facts, they are choices. And that's good news. Because if perception is a choice, it means we can choose differently. Consider Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic thinker. His meditations are filled with reminders to himself about perception. He constantly reminded himself that the universe is change, and our lives are what our thoughts make of them. Even in the face of betrayal, illness, or war, he returned again and again to the central idea. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. This isn't about denial, it's about empowerment. Choosing your perception doesn't mean pretending bad things don't happen. It means refusing to give your power away to things you can't control. It means realizing that no matter how chaotic the world is, you are in charge of your internal world. When you begin to control the story you tell yourself, you gain control over your emotions. That's your first taste of freedom. You don't have to be at the mercy of everything and everyone. You don't have to ride the roller coaster of outrage, anxiety, or victimhood. You can step off and choose a calmer path. The battlefield of perception is one you fight every day. And every time you win, even in a small moment, a pause before yelling, a breath instead of a judgment, you become stronger. You sharpen your awareness. You reclaim your power. So next time someone cuts you off, take a breath. Ask yourself, what story am I telling myself? Is it helping me or hurting me? You'll realize more often than not that the battle isn't out there, it's in here, and you are already equipped to win it. 2. Respond, don't react. In every moment of tension, whether it's an argument, a crisis, or a criticism, you're presented with a fork in the road. One path leads to an immediate reaction, emotional, impulsive, often regrettable. The other path offers a slower, wiser response, thoughtful, calm, and controlled. This difference might seem small, but it is everything. As Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, once wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." The Stoics understood this truth long before modern psychology did. They knew that emotions are natural, inevitable even. Anger, fear, sadness, they come and go like weather patterns. But acting on those emotions without reflection, that's where the damage is done. To be stoic isn't to be emotionless, it's to be emotionally disciplined. It means allowing space between the event and the response. It means recognizing that you don't have to yell when you're angry. You don't have to panic when things go wrong. You don't have to insult someone who insulted you. The pause is powerful. It allows you to reclaim control. It lets your reasoning mind catch up with your emotional mind. That 1 second of stillness, of breath, of clarity, can change the outcome of an entire situation. Think about the last time you lost your temper. What was the result? Did it solve the problem, or did it escalate it? Now think about a time you kept your cool. Maybe you de-escalated a tense conversation. Maybe you made a better decision because you weren't clouded by emotion. That's the Stoic way, not suppressing feelings, but mastering them. Not letting emotions drive your decisions, but letting wisdom steer the wheel. To respond rather than react is to live with intention. It's to say, I will not be ruled by every mood or moment. I will choose how I act no matter how I feel. That choice creates dignity, it creates strength, and it creates peace. This discipline doesn't come overnight. It's a practice. At first, the space between stimulus and response might be tiny, but over time, with awareness, it grows. You catch yourself more often, you breathe more, you reflect more, and you become more unshakable. So the next time someone pushes your buttons, pause. The next time life surprises you, pause. In that moment of stillness, you will find something profound, the power to remain rooted while the world trembles around you. 3. Turn insults into insight. Insults sting, that's the truth. Whether it's a mocking comment from a stranger or a harsh word from someone you love, those verbal blows can feel like daggers. But the Stoics taught a radically different way to deal with insults, not with retaliation, but with reflection. They saw insults not as wounds, but as windows into ourselves. Marcus Aurelius asked himself, if someone is speaking ill of you, is it true? If yes, then there's something to learn. If no, then why be upset by a lie? This is the Stoic formula. Don't immediately defend or retaliate. Instead, investigate. What is this insult touching inside me? Why does it bother me so much? Often, an insult reveals something unhealed within us. If someone calls you lazy and it burns, maybe you secretly fear it's true. If someone mocks your appearance and you feel shame, maybe there's a hidden insecurity still lingering. Every insult is a mirror showing what you need to confront. Seneca once said, "A wise man is indifferent to insult." But indifference doesn't mean ignorance. It means you've examined yourself so deeply that no one else's opinion can shake your core. Turning insults into insight takes courage. It means refusing to be reactive. It means using every attack as an opportunity to grow. Ask yourself, what truth can I extract from this pain? What weakness is being revealed, and how can I strengthen it? Sometimes the insult has no truth at all. In that case, let it pass. Why get angry at someone for being wrong? That's their burden, not yours. But if there is truth in it, then good. You've been given a gift, the chance to improve. Over time, this mindset builds emotional armor, not by hardening you, but by strengthening your sense of self. You become less sensitive, less defensive, more open to feedback, and more confident in your identity. The world is full of critics, insults, and provocations. You can't silence them all, but you can learn to respond in a way that turns every attack into ammunition for your growth. So the next time you're insulted, don't lash out. Look in, ask, what is this teaching me? Use the sting not to fight, but to heal. Over time, you'll find that nothing anyone says can shake you because you've already done the work inside. 4. Build the inner fortress. The modern world is an endless storm of noise. From the moment we wake up, we are assaulted by social media notifications, news alerts, advertisements, opinions, and distractions. Every screen we look at is another voice trying to shape our thoughts. Every comment we read is another chance for someone else's agenda to plant itself in our consciousness. In a world like this, peace is not passive. It is something we must actively build. Your mind is not an open field. It is a fortress. And like any fortress, it must be guarded. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that every input, every sight, sound, and word had the power to influence who you are. And if you're not deliberate about what you allow in, you'll soon find that you're no longer thinking your own thoughts. You're just repeating someone else's fears, someone else's anger, someone else's distractions. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." But what shapes that reaction? It's your inner world, the beliefs, principles, and clarity that you cultivate within. That inner world doesn't just form by accident. It's built, brick by brick, through conscious effort. Just like your physical body needs nourishment, rest, and exercise, your mind needs care. You wouldn't fuel your body with garbage and expect to be strong. The same goes for your thoughts. The information you consume is mental nutrition. Gossip, outrage, and negativity are junk food for the mind. Left unchecked, they create emotional bloat, insecurity, and chronic distraction. Building an inner fortress begins with a filter. Not every voice deserves to be heard. Not every opinion deserves space in your mind. You must guard what enters with the seriousness of someone protecting their most valuable possession, because that's exactly what your mind is. Your attention is a finite resource. If you don't decide how it's used, someone else will. This doesn't mean ignorance. It doesn't mean pretending the world is fine when it isn't. It means being selective. Choose what you allow to take root in your thinking. Choose what deserves your energy. Just as Marcus Aurelius would write his meditations as a daily practice of cleansing and aligning his thoughts, you too must create a space for mental hygiene. Ask yourself regularly, is this information helping me grow, or is it draining me? Is this input moving me closer to who I want to be, or further away? This is how you begin to build stillness in the storm. The inner fortress is not a retreat from life, but a preparation for it. It gives you the space to respond rather than react, to think clearly instead of being driven by impulse. In that stillness, you become harder to manipulate, harder to offend, harder to unseat from your path. There's a reason Stoic thinkers emphasize journaling, contemplation, and silence. These weren't luxuries, they were shields. When your mind is quiet, you can hear the truth. When your thoughts are ordered, you see clearly. But if your mental world is cluttered with other people's noise, you will constantly chase the wrong goals, fight the wrong battles, and forget who you are. Peace isn't the absence of conflict, it's the presence of clarity. That clarity comes from intention. It comes from treating your mind like sacred ground. What you focus on expands. What you repeatedly tell yourself becomes your inner narrative. So focus on strength, focus on virtue, focus on what you can control. The world will never stop talking. It will never stop pushing opinions, trends, outrage, and distraction. But your inner world can be a place of calm. Build that place, tend to it, and most importantly, protect it. 5. strength through sovereignty. What does it mean to be strong? In the eyes of the Stoics, true strength wasn't loud. It wasn't reactive. It wasn't about proving yourself. It was about sovereignty, the ability to rule your own mind, emotions, and choices regardless of what the outside world was doing. In a world addicted to drama and validation, walking away from a fight can feel like weakness. But in reality, it is often the highest form of strength. Not every insult deserves a rebuttal. Not every provocation is worth your energy. The person who is easily triggered, who must always respond, who fights every battle, they are not strong. They are a puppet pulled by every string. Sovereignty is the opposite of that. It's calm, it's composed, it's a deep-rooted stability that doesn't waver when someone challenges your ego. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need to engage in every argument to know your worth. The Stoics taught that dignity lies in restraint, not retaliation. Consider this. Every time you react emotionally to a minor slight, you hand your power to the one who provoked you. They now control you. They dictated your behavior. And what for? A fleeting sense of superiority? An illusion of victory? Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful men in history, reminded himself not to be disturbed by others' ignorance. If the Emperor of Rome could walk past insults without blinking, so can you. This doesn't mean submission, it means discernment. Not all silence is surrender, sometimes it's a roar. Sometimes choosing not to participate in someone's chaos is the most defiant act of all. You're declaring, you don't control me, you don't get access to my peace. This is how you win, not by defeating others, but by mastering yourself. The more centered you are, the less others can drag you off course. Sovereignty is knowing your values, your boundaries, and your goals so deeply that nothing can shake them. You are no longer pulled by emotion or ego, but guided by purpose. In practical terms, this means learning to pause, to breathe, to observe before acting. The Stoics practiced a kind of internal delay, allowing time to interpret an event rationally before responding emotionally. That moment of pause is the space where power lives. In that space, you can decide, is this worth it? Is this aligned with my purpose? Does this help or harm? Often you'll find the answer is no. Most conflicts are noise. Most arguments are ego. Most drama is distraction. When you let them pass without engagement, you free yourself. You step out of the cycle of reactivity and into the clarity of sovereignty. Let others spiral. Let them chase validation, scream for attention, or drown in gossip. You remain grounded. You have better things to do. Your energy is sacred. Your time is precious. And your mission is clear. This is not indifference, it's intentional focus. You're not cold, you're clear. You're not disengaged, you're selective. You know what matters. And that clarity allows you to walk through chaos without becoming part of it. In the end, sovereignty is the greatest power a person can possess, because it means no one else holds the strings. You are the calm in the storm, the mountain unmoved by the wind. You are free, not because the world changed, but because you did. The quiet power of inner mastery, mastering yourself, isn't loud. It's subtle, it's quiet, it's daily. The Stoic life isn't about emotionless detachment. It's about emotional wisdom, about living deliberately, with clarity and depth. You feel, but you're not ruled by feelings. You see chaos, but choose calm. You face hardship, but remain free. That's real power. That's Stoic strength. If you're ready to stop being a puppet of your emotions and start building an unshakable mind, subscribe, share this message with someone who needs it. And remember, you are not what happens to you. You are what you choose to become in response. Let's keep growing.